doing is lining their pockets. These people with vast wealth that can use it to decide how our public schools are going to be run or what the public policy is for schools. That is not the way it's supposed to be. Public schools are supposed to be run by the people. And we all deserve good public schools. I went to public schools in Delano, California, poor farm worker area. But we had good schools. Why? Because we used to tax the big farmers and all that. There wasn't Prop 13 where people could get away with not paying their fair share. What we have to do is really go after the corporations and the super wealthy. Who's making out like bandits? It's the big corporations, the banks, etc. So we got to get on that. We need money because money matters.
Thank you to everybody for being here. I'm part of Classroom Struggle, which is a group within OEA. We're fighting for what OEA has been for in principle and on paper for a long time. An organizing union that recognizes the power of our union and its workers. We think that Superintendent Wilson was hired to do what he's doing, corporatize and privatize the schools. We know that Wilson has worked in his short time in Oakland to weaken our union power by trying to rewrite seniority and transfer policies in Article 12. Policies that currently serve to protect our teachers as workers. We must be honest about the disparity between Oakland's Hill schools and Flatland schools. And work to undo the divides between those schools by supporting working class families and students of color in Oakland, really supporting them, not just turning them around and around. We must keep pressure on the school district and increase awareness of how little the district spends on teacher salaries and Oakland classrooms and the many ways that OUSD misprioritizes public funding. The gains that have been won in many struggles within OUSD have only come when people have organized and kept pressure on the district. I have to say one last thing because I'm a science teacher. This is just the beginning. Our union should have more actions with rank and file teachers working with parents and students to organize. Our union is full of potential energy. That's my science line. Full of the strength of our workers, parents, and students. We just need to start the ball rolling. Turn that potential energy into kinetic energy to get things moving and organized. And we will be shocked at how much power we have once we keep that ball rolling. Thank you.
The people who organized this were parents, students, and teachers from over 20 Oakland schools and community activists. And the goal for this march is to march for schools Oakland students and teachers deserve, and things that the district has not been doing. Like, that's why we're here and that's why we're going to get it done.
Down, down with privatization! Up with school transformation! Our schools are under attack! What should we do? Fight back! Our schools are...
We had a minor victory this month. A victory won by students, parents, and teachers like ourselves who spoke up against the process and have demanded for true and authentic engagement with the community. To have not charter submit for 4 of the 5 schools has been that have been put through this process was a victory. Yet we have a long way to go. We all need to unite because this is just the beginning. Under district and state standards, each one of our schools will be labeled failing and therefore at risk of being put through this process. This process ignores the reality of our students and hardships and their struggles. It doesn't take into account that Oakland schools serve a very diverse student population that comes with an array of backgrounds, with high needs, but rich cultures and backgrounds. Great virtues that are not measured by any standardized test. A process that continues to destabilize our educational system and burns out teachers, resources, rather than support the retention of teachers and develop of the schools. We can't allow this process to continue. Stop the RFP process. We need competitive salaries to retain and attract great teachers. We need small class sizes in order to best personalize the learning of each student. We need to create successful public schools to stop the charterization. We need to best serve all students, English language learners, special education, mainstream, foster children, new immigrants. All are our responsibility. No charters. Sí se puede. Sí.
Open says no more cuts. We won't go to the rest of us. Open says no more cuts. We won't go to the rest of us. Open says no more cuts.
You know, the Oakland Unified School District has spent over $7.2 million on this police officer department in our schools. They only spent $700,000 on counselors, social workers, psychologists, but more money needs to be sent in the classrooms for the support of our students, the teachers that teach them. Administration doesn't teach, it's the teachers in the classroom. The teachers need support. The teachers need to have a decent salary. Our kids need for the money to be back in the classroom where it belongs. Thank you.
We need to build a movement that is based on what we know means good schools. We need to have a vision of what a good school is. A school with good teachers, well-paid teachers, with a principal who is focused on education, with sufficient supplies, and so on. And we have to take that message to every door in Oakland to unite people around this struggle. And we have to tell them, by the way, you know that 1% we talked about in Occupy? Well, they have a plan for schools of this country. It's called charterization. It's called corporatization. It's called making the schools a profit center for the big banks on Wall Street. And to me, that means two classes of education. Good education for the wealthy, and for the kids in Oakland and most other cities, a bare-bone education with brand new teachers, basically right out of college, huge classes, teaching focused on the test, computers doing half the instruction, and for the others, the people who live on the other side of the hills, a much better deal. We have to turn that around. That is really the future of this society.
It is clear that we need to have strong parent voice demanding quality schools for our kids. And that starts with a contract that fairly compensates our teachers and respects and values their experience and professionalism. Parents know that our classroom teachers are the single most important factor in the educational experience that our children have. And we demand that OUSD reprioritize their spending, put our educational dollars into the classroom and not into the boardroom. And we want to see this change coming right now with the contract. Thank you.
It's kind of crappy to see how the white kids over the hills get the good education and we get the crappy education. America, it's a free country and we all have the right to the same education. Money should not be the reason why they're cutting my schools and shutting them down just because they need money for something else. We need more teachers, we need more special education teachers in our classrooms. We need more money for more counselors. We don't need police in our schools, as you guys can see, because every time we have more police in our schools, this is what happens. Either we get brutalized, we get blamed, instead of being educated, we're getting beat down. So let's stand up and fight against this police brutality and not be afraid of it, because we are the voice and we are the community. We got this.
Everything works outward from the spaces and the experiences of our most needy students. We have to start with students in special day classrooms. Everybody has class size limits. Resource specialists have resource caseload limits. General ed students have class size limits. Those limits are going down. But if we don't account for our special day students, we are experiencing the most wicked kind of segregation. So I call on the REA, I call on all of you to not sell out this particular demand in this process. Support our special education teachers who are often beginners by giving them a manageable experience, by giving them small class size. I will not buy anymore the excuse that there are no teachers out there to keep warehousing our children. We're going to start by drawing a line and saying, no more, find who you're going to find, we're going to have small class size, we're going to focus on the individuals. That's what special ed is. If we don't have that, special ed is neither special nor ed.
You know that our kids are all different, and they all need to, even if they're not labeled as a special needs child, they each need something different from us. And so this movement is supporting and giving teachers the support that they need so that they can give each child, whether they're a special needs child or not, they can give them each what they need so they can succeed and they can reach their highest potential. So because of the investment in my girls and the support that you all are offering our teachers today, they're able to go above and beyond what we think is possible for them. So my daughter dragged me out here. I was exhausted from work, but she said, we've got to be out there, and she wanted to be out here because of the investment her teacher is making in her.
My teacher moment to have me because I had disability and I cannot talk that well, and I need my teacher to help me so I can go to college and live my life.
So out of the mouth of a babe, we know why we're all here today. So don't forget about those that may not be able to speak up for themselves.
Once again, we have the privilege of freedom to answer the call to service, and we are striving for the rights of our special need community. We're going to fight the good fight. We've already got the victory if we stay in love.
We can win. We can stop the charterization of our schools. We can get that pay raise that they have the money for, and we can get the services we need for special ed students. But we got to stand together, march and fight, and Oakland knows the way. When we are proud to be all of us, all races, fighting together for justice, for public education as a right. Counselors, not cops.
Exploitation ain't the way. Oakland teachers deserve their pay. Exploitation ain't the
to my heart because I like that everyone came out to support my education and everybody else's education here. And I just want to say that this really means a lot to me.
I'm glad to see that all the people out